Hi, world. It's the 1st of April 2025, and I'm in North Yorkshire in England. As one of my Australian clients pointed out, I said, how can you say you're in the middle of nowhere when you've got 50 million people in a country smaller than New South Wales? And I thought, yeah, good point. But England's very concentrated. 80% of people live in the high population concentration of cities. Where I am at the moment, there's got to be, 3, 4, 5 people in a square mile on average. And I love it here. It's clear, it's clean. The stars at night are spectacular. Looking at Mars and Jupiter, still so bright. Looking at Aldebaran, looking at Pollux and Cassiopeia. It's lovely. It's just amazing. When you know what you're looking at, it's amazing. And this is why I like to take my students out under the sky. Because it's all very well looking at screens and looking at books. But when you can actually go out there and go, look, that's Mars and that's Jupiter and that's the angle between them, and you can see the sextile and you can see that star over there, and that's making an exact square to this. It's just great. I digress. There's never been a time in human history where we've had so much astrological knowledge. Bearing in mind that Uranus wasn't discovered until the 1780s, Neptune wasn't discovered till the 1840s, and Pluto in the 1930s. All of the charts that we've got collectively as astrologers from those times, the solar system stopped at Saturn. But it's only since the last 250 years that the Iranian ideas of liberation, independence, freedom and human rights, and the Neptunian ideas of dream and vision and idea and spirituality, and the Plutonian ideas of transformation and psychology have come into the collective consciousness, let alone the minor planetoids, Chiron, and the Kuiper Belt objects, Makepeace, Sedna, Eris. And as these archetypes emerge into the consciousness, so these points are becoming more relevant in astrology. I'm privileged enough to be friends with a man called Rick Levine. Rick is, he's one of the greats. He's older than me. Says something. He's a co-founder of Star IQ. He's one of the, well, let's put it this way. He tells me that he was educated in astrology by Pythagoras. So that would make Rick about 2,500 years old. I think there might be an element of hyperbole there, but nevertheless. Rick's ideas on astrology have made him into a unique individual. And he's well respected and admired throughout the astrological community. So it's a privilege to have him to come to this event I'm organising in northwest London over the 2nd to the 5th of May called Shifts Happen, near St Albans. And Rick is going to be doing a number of workshops, particularly on the changing attitudes towards the outer planet astrology, and particularly regarding the development of new archetypes around the new planets and microplanets or Kuiper Belt objects that are being discovered. It does seem synchronous that as we learn more about ourselves, so the archetypes that symbolise this knowledge are discovered in the heavens. And Rick is ideally placed, with his more than 50 years of experience of writing astrology, learning astrology and teaching astrology, to be able to quote authoritatively on this. So it's a privilege to work with him, as well as people like Penny Thornton, Nick Campion, Alexis Trenawath, Amanda Ellis also. It's going to be the astrological gig of the year. But coming back to the outer planets, when you see horoscopes from the past, when you know you've got the birth time right, for example, as I did recently, I did a video on the horoscope of Mozart. The positions of Uranus, Neptune and Pluto in Mozart's horoscope was so strong. It's obvious using those planets as to where the astrological signatures for his genius was so evident there. It's easy to see where that came from. But those planets weren't discovered at the time of his birth. Now, I'm just using Mozart as an example. I could be using any of the geniuses from pre-1760. Newton, Michelangelo, Da Vinci. These are the people who were reacting to a deep, unconscious drive. There was a primal urge being generated by the outer planets, even though they weren't discovered, that made these people fundamentally different. There's a car coming, so I'm going to have to change this a bit. It does show cars up here. Blimey. Okay. It shows that humans are resilient and we react in different ways to different stimulus, but there is a correlation to what's going on in the skies above us at all times. And perhaps this is what makes us unique in terms of being different to anyone else. We're in a position of uniqueness. Nothing in this world has ever been like us. To quote McKenna, human history represents such a radical break to the systems of biological organisation that preceded it that it must be the response to some type of dwell point or attractor that lies ahead in the temporal directions. And we're going to be talking about this at Shifts Happen. Come along. We've still got 20 or 30 tickets left. So there's going to be plenty of space. You'd be most welcome. Hopefully, we'll see you there. It's going to be the astrological event of the year. Catch you later, folks. Bye now.